Those earrings
They're not that pretty.
Por favor, they looked pobrecito. Here's the thing.
They looked
pobrecito. I like either studs or really big earrings. I don't like the in-between. I don't like the ones you're wearing.
I was going to say, I'm an in-between
I hate
girl. I would argue that your gigantic earrings from my Miami finale were a little crazy. They were the size of your fucking head, okay?
Those are great earrings.
You need to scale.
Do you know how many people called me to ask me where I got those earrings?
This was you. Actually, a little bigger, to be honest. I know what you did. You were standing in the mirror and you go, this needs something.
We've had those earrings for a long time. I've worn those earrings before.
I know. And maybe it's time to just like put them away. Welcome to Mami Issues, a podcast where an ex-reality TV star mom
and her reality TV loving daughter
bridge the gap between their generations through celeb news, all things Bravo,
and their own personal mommy issues.
How are we doing? Wow.
There is so much going on in this world.
Yes.
Especially the Bravo world.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I am going to let you lead, because where you lead,
I will follow
anywhere
that you
tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow.
Oh, I love doing that.
We have a friend of mine, on Instagram. I think met her in person. She's really cool. She's got Your Beautiful Life, I think. It's
oh yeah. I've gotten DMs.
She's great. And she's like, I'm hooked on Gilmore Girls, because when she discovered our podcast, she went back and just
binged,
listened to everything, and then now she's like, I'm obsessed with Emily. She reminds me of my mom.
I thought she was going to say she reminds me of you.
Yeah, that too.
We don't want that.
We do not.
Okay, hello. Let's really get started.
Let's get started.
Let's do some highs and lows, shall we? You want to go first? I feel like you got some highs, or I feel like you may have some lows you want to talk about. I feel like you're going through a lot of shit right now.
What are my lows? I mean, not really. It's not. It's this business is difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like,
your marinade business?
Right. I'm here in Charlotte because my co-packer, my manufacturer is 3 hours from here, and I came to spend time with Kathy, so that's a huge high. I love it here. I'm at Kathy's mother-in-law's townhouse.
Steps away from her house, which is so nice.
Steps away from her house. It's so nice, that it's great. I love that. So that's a highlight. I feel so relaxed and calm here. I had to drive 6 hours yesterday to go to my co-packer. Probably have to do that again next week. I am very control freak in every aspect of my life, and the products that bear my name are no exception. And so that's what it is. I need it like I need it. Perfect. And so, I had to go and do all that, and it's a lot of work, but it's what I signed up for. So
is it enjoyable? Are you having fun?
I mean, I didn't have fun yesterday, but it wasn't awful. It's just a lot of driving. You know what I'm saying? I was tired. I had to get up at 5 a.m. because, we're working on stuff together. And then I got back, and then Kathy's husband keeps saying to me, you see, you're not going to be able to sleep today. And every night I can't sleep. I'm like, can you stop saying that?
He's putting it out in the universe.
I know. People are like, yeah. So no, yeah. And other good things happening that I can't discuss yet, but I've been asked to be, in the next Miss Universe pageant, and I don't want to get into details.
Yeah.
No. But other fun stuff. Just good. I'm alive.
You're alive.
I'm alive. It's important, guys. Every day there's all bad news. I've also decided that social media is the worst thing that happened to humanity in general.
Okay.
Like, it is the worst thing, which is why I wrote Lola Loves Her Selfie, which will launch on March 1st, by the way. And I'll let you guys know about it. Yeah.
That's soon. That's very soon.
Super soon. March 1st. It'll be live. And I'm very proud of it, because it's not just, everything that I do is not just for the reason of like, I want to have a book. It's not a vanity project. Honestly, it was just, I had something to say, and I wish that I could talk to little girls, because I have been in places with little girls that are 6, 7, 8 years old, and you ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they'll say, influencer. They say Real Housewives. They say I want to be on Below Deck. They'll say I want to be on Vanderpump Rules. And so
no, not 6 or 7-year-olds.
Well, I don't know the ages. Like my friend's daughter is, what second grade? That's 7 or 8.
Second grade, geez Louise.
Whatever. I don't love girls saying that. Not that you can't do that if that's what you choose to do, but I want them to remember that there's other options, and also social media makes most of us feel bad about ourselves. And so
that's true.
That's a low that I have. The other day, another low, now you see, you reminded me, I came across a Kathy Hilton picture where she tagged what she called was her third daughter. And I knew it was her daughter-in-law, Tessa Hilton, who's married to Barron Hilton. And I went on a deep dive and decided that the rest of all live such ordinary, vulgar, little peasanty lives. And I just kept looking at everything and I'm like, I hate myself and my life. And why didn't I, whatever, for like a hot second, me, that I know better. It made me feel bad. You know, I don't look at like, I don't know, women on Real Housewives and think, oh, I want to be that. Not that, but like this girl is like a countess from whatever. They met in St. Bart's. 3 years later, they married in St. Bart's. They have 3 perfect children. They have homes all over the world. And it's like, imagine what it does to somebody less educated or younger or whatever. So yeah, social media is the worst thing. I'm susceptible. So
yeah, it's easy to fall into a hole for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hear
Just
that.
don't go there. Don't follow her. Don't look at it because you'll be like 30, skinny, perfect, royal title, married to, you know, U.S. royalty, living the most charmed life, perfect children. No,
comparison is the thief of joy.
It is really the thief of joy.
For real, for real. We don't compare. And if we do, we choose again. We say, I'm comparing because I want that life for me.
And, right. And you were trying to manifest it.
Right. And you say, I'm not comparing. I want that life and I'm worthy of that life. And I believe that I can have that life.
Right.
You reframe the negative thoughts.
Right.
Which actually brings me to my high.
Okay.
I'm on a journey.
You're on a journey. She's on a journey.
I'm on a journey.
What's the journey du jour, please? Help us.
My journey, and maybe this is something that will spark something for somebody, because that's what it did for me. I was listening to a podcast and somebody mentioned Gabby Bernstein. Don't know who this person is.
Oh, I've read Gabby Bernstein. I've been following her for 10 years.
Have never heard of her. But
I've met her.
Okay. Can I talk?
Well, I just don't want you to idolize this person.
Why?
Well, okay. You know, don't meet your heroes, but go ahead.
Okay. Whatever, dude. I heard somebody talking about it on a podcast, and I was like, she was talking about how this person helped like set her on a path of like manifestation and how great things were coming to her when she started reading her books and stuff. And I think I was just like maybe craving that and maybe like needing that. So I was like, let me just see what this is about. I started with other podcasts. I just searched Gabby Bernstein and like other podcasts, like an Apple podcast, to see what other interviews she did. I listened to one and was like hooked. Everything she was saying, I just like, it
resonated with you.
It resonated with me because I'm already like, since reading Laura Lynn Jackson's book, Signs, in 2020, I've been on like a whole spiritual, like I have a very strong connection with the universe. I like ask for signs. I receive them constantly.
Me too.
And it's like that in itself, I think, is a very big part of Gabby Bernstein's like messaging. It's like, first you actually have to have a relationship with the universe. And I was like, okay, I'm there, but I'm still being held back, you know?
Yeah.
And
it's only you who's holding yourself back.
Right. So I started with her latest book that she released called Super Attractor, because that's what she was talking about on the podcast. And that's what resonated with me. I just finished it today, audiobook. And let me tell you something. I feel such a tremendous shift in my...
Oh, I'm gonna do it too then, since you have it in my audiobooks.
Yeah. So what I realized in my journey is what's been holding me back is fear and insecurity, and how that is all inside of you. And what puts you out of alignment in your with the universe, with with manifesting what you want, is the like intense insecurity and fear that
It all boils down, like insecurity and fear are the same thing, really.
of
And fear
course,
is a liar. Fear
yeah,
is a liar.
but
Just keep that in mind always.
all it is, but beyond that, all it is you thinking that you are not worth, you're not
Right.
worthy of good things.
Right. And so
And
it's the little guy on your shoulder telling you, can you really do that? I don't think you can. And you're just going to have to like knock him off. It's not easy.
it's not. And the thing that I've learned and what's been helping me is like the second I start thinking like everything around me is happening and I'm truly taken care of and I believe that I'm worthy of good things, the second I start like really speaking that out, of course what seeps in is like, no, you're not. And you don't like it, what you want is too big and whatever. Her method is a choose again method where you like basically say to yourself, like, I forgive you for thinking that. And then you choose again. I forgive you, but I do believe that I'm worthy. And you just kind of like
I love
reprogram
that.
yourself.
I
It's
love it because it's based on second chances. Like give yourself a second chance. It's not over
exactly.
just because you messed up once. And you know, the thing about manifestation, we both really believe in that. And I think that people look at me kind of crazy sometimes. Can, you know, he's open, but like the other day I bought these tiny sage candles, right?
Mhm.
I sage my house all the time, but it's an energy clearing thing. I use it when I'm working, I use it whatever when I'm feeling a little heavy, right?
Right.
And and yes, it helps, but it's not like when people, you remember, you know, the famous book that started all of it, The Secret, right? That's about putting out into universe what you want and you envision what you want. And then
Mhm.
people confused it with the power of positive thinking. It's not the same thing. And it also isn't just think real hard that something's going to happen and it'll happen. The way that it works really is when you manifest something, you put all your focus on something that you want. And naturally, when you do that, you work harder on those things. And that's why they happen. It's not magic, but it is because if you don't focus on it and you don't really see yourself there, then when you face hurdles and roadblocks, you're going to give up. So you
Yeah.
have to fully see yourself there. And it's hard. It's hard. And for us women, it's hard because we're so hard on ourselves. And, you know,
Mm.
people that are younger, I think, you know, like you are more open to that. Women my age are probably like, you know, even when you're talking to me about, you know, the thing that I was saying about the Hiltons is like, no, you just have to believe you're worthy of that and stuff. But what happens when you're, you know, in your 50s or, you know, 50, 60, whatever, do you think, nah, you know, it's too late for me. Like, what am
I
I going to
think
reinvent the wheel now? So
I
it's
think that
important.
does. I think
It,
that that
yes,
seeps in for sure. And I think it's
I agree.
again, it's just choose again. Believe that you are. Just forgive yourself for having that thought and believe that you are. I've
I
learned
like that.
so much in hearing this audiobook, like about just like releasing control. What's meant for you will come. You don't have to try so hard because the things that you really, really try for and they're not coming, that's a
That they
sign
maybe weren't wait meant for you.
they're not meant for you. And like I think that's something that I struggle with a lot. It's like I push myself very hard. I work very hard. Sometimes I like overwork myself. And what I'm learning is that I need to relax and feel good because when you feel good, good things come to you. That's the other messaging in this book. This
Yeah.
is the
And
Cliff
just
Notes
be in a
version.
place where you feel happy, you know, like I've been thinking about moving here, you know, or kind of going by not it's not by coastal, but just kind of you know, splitting my time because when I'm here, I have a sense of peace. I just feel that I don't have to conform to something in a certain way. And I remember yesterday my 3-hour drive that started at 5:30 in the morning, AT&T was down and all the networks were down. And
Yeah.
for some reason I had, and got, everybody was freaking out and I couldn't listen to my podcast. And suddenly what came on was got the Spotify on her in her car. And it was the best music. And for 3 hours, I was like singing and I was whatever. And I was like, who are you? Who is this? You know that I'm not a musical person.
You're
You and
not at
Kathy are
all.
very music oriented, and your dad too. You got that from him. And I just, wow, music can make you happy. It brought back, you know, Kathy has a super interesting mix of music. So stuff would come on. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I just had the best time. And it's about, you know, I used to say like bloom where you're planted. And And yes, if you don't have a choice, but if you have a little bit of a choice, find where the soil is the most fertile for your type of flower. You know what I mean? And I feel like my type of flower blooms better in an environment that's more quiet, more whatever
Yeah.
at this point in my life, but not at this point in my life. That's who I've always been,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Never been a party animal, never been any of that. I like to read. I like farmers markets. I like whatever. So, you know,
Yeah.
again, I think listening to yourself and I'm going to listen to that book because I love the idea that try again, you know,
Just
forgive yourself. You did. So
right.
what? You messed up.
Yeah. Which brings me to my low. And it
Okay.
has to do with you. My low is.
Oh God, no, don't talk about that though.
What?
I don't think that's a good idea. Okay. I thought you were going to talk about the podcast.
I am going to talk about the
Oh,
podcast.
fuck.
My low is you believing that we're not a legitimate podcast.
I do believe we're a legitimate podcast. I'm just thinking that we have, you know, I'm trying to gauge based on the charts and stuff, what is resonating with people. And I want people to tune in and tell other people and that kind of stuff. Dude, that's more for you than for me. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. It's for you. It's really for you because I think obviously you called me at a time where I'm like on this journey, listening to this audiobook.
Right. It was bad
trying
timing.
to like propel myself into positivity, into like belief in myself, into like self-esteem and self-worth.
Well,
and
clearly.
I think I believe that we are on the right path with the podcast. I do. I think that from when we started almost 2 years ago in March to now, we have had a significant amount of progress and success. It is not financially as successful as you'd want it to be, but things like this take time, right? And like, I think I feel like we're on the right path and that can be enough. Like, it's just like, I want to let go a little bit and be like, I work so hard on this podcast. And I think
no, I know. And we want to have fun with it. And we
I know,
do.
but I think like you calling me and telling me
oh my God, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think that I called you at the wrong time, but I have to tell you, I'm sorry, don't cry. I was impressed with the way that you didn't even flinch, though. I know that you internalize everything, but you didn't even flinch. You said, I disagree.
I know.
I disagree.
I just feel like
I'm proud of what we're doing. I'm proud of whatever. And the proof is in the fact that, you know, our listenership has gone up tenfold. I get it. I'm sorry. Here's what happened to me. And I want you to know where I'm coming from. When we started this podcast, and even, you know, I didn't try very hard. You know, I saw it as your podcast. I just come on. I'm your sidekick. You, whatever. In many ways, that's still true. But when we started with a legitimate hosting company, you know, I was like,
I think you panicked a little bit.
Yeah. And I have to do more. I have to. And so I'm hard on myself. I don't
know
like
you are.
my voice. I don't like whatever. I use filler words. Sometimes I'm talking and I feel that you think that I'm too wordy and long-winded and I'm whatever, and I'll drop a sentence off. And so I also feel that, you know, there's so many insecurities about this stuff and I want to succeed.
I know. And that's what I was feeling from you on that phone call where you were like, just for everybody, my mom called me and was talking about like, I'm taking like voice coaching stuff because I hate the sound of my voice and I feel like we should be doing this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you're too hard on yourself.
I read an article, but
right.
Yeah.
I just mean like, you're doing great. And I think I know exactly where it stems from. I knew it stemmed from the feeling of like, now we have a podcast host. Now you're looking at the charts. And I think you're trying to like, be like, well, we need to be better. We need to be better.
I want to give people more,
but we're giving them everything we have. And that is enough. That's enough. You're doing great using filler words. Who cares? Everyone uses filler words. You don't have to be perfect. And like, I think that's where I was like, what triggered me, like, yes, I was telling you like all the things that I really felt of like, no, I respectfully disagree. I think I'm doing a fantastic job. I think you're doing a fantastic job. I think we're on the right path and period, end of story. But like, of course I internalize it because you're my mom. And then like,
I wasn't really criticizing you. I
know you weren't criticizing me. I know where it was. I know it had everything to do with you. I know that, but I
and
get
also I
off
feel
the phone.
guilty because I think that you have taken on this narrator moderator role because I'm a hot mess or something.
No, I want to. This is what I want to do. I'm so passionate about this. I'm trying to do this more. I'm trying to start my own podcast at the company I work for because that's what I want to do. It's a bigger audience over there. Maybe it'll draw people over here too. Like, I love doing podcasts. I want to
Me
be
too.
the one who runs this. It's not because I'm like, here comes the train wreck. You are a significant part of the success of this podcast, and you need to believe that. This would be nothing without you. It would just be me sitting here. Nobody wants to fucking hear what I have to say alone. The success of this podcast is you and me talking about real stuff or stupid shit. And it's fun or it's emotional like this or whatever, you know? And I think what happened to me was I got off the phone with you, and as much as I knew it had nothing to do with me and you weren't criticizing me, I start feeling this resentment towards you because I'm like,
oh God,
oh my God, this is where my insecurity and fear stems from. It's my mom. And I start feeling
that
like,
was all my insecurity.
I know, but it's like, how can you not start internalizing this when your
I know.
mom is the one saying you should be doing this, you should be doing that? It's like,
well, just so you know, what I meant was, even though I haven't given enough and maybe in my head not doing that well, don't stop being you because you're the best part of this, is what I meant. That's what I meant. I wasn't criticizing you.
I know
I
you
was
were
telling you
criticizing
don't hold back because you need to supervise my sorry ass. That's what I meant.
No, we're not doing that narrative. You are part of the success of this podcast. Why don't we choose again? Why don't we forgive ourselves for feeling that way? And let's choose again. I believe in the success of this podcast because we're worthy of the success. You say it now.
I believe in the success of this podcast because we're worthy of the success.
Amen.
I agree. And I'm going to read the book immediately.
You should read the book. And I know that your intention is coming from a place of like, you want this to succeed because you want me to succeed. I know it has less to do with you and more to do with me. And I want you to know that I really appreciate that. But like, we're doing a good job. We really are. And you know what I appreciate? How far we've come in our relationship. Like, in the feelings of like that we're starting to come in of like, oh my God, I'm so mad at my mom right now. I like started to think about the things I appreciate. And we went from, I think it was 2017 or 2018. I didn't talk to you for like 7-8 months, maybe. We didn't speak at all because I was so angry at you, to now we talk once a week and we have the best time.
We talk a lot more than once a week.
I know. I just mean like we carve out like minimum 1 hour of our day in the week to talk, to laugh and cry and whatever. And and
it's not staged and it's not planned and it's not rehearsed and we
just are in such a great place in our relationship. And I am so appreciative of how far that we've come. And that's because of the work we both have put into this. And that's worth something.
That's worth everything.
So our low turned into a high.
There you go. All right. Sorry, guys. We needed to deal with some mommy issues.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's what this is about, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Anybody who's feeling fear, insecurity about their life and love and career, I urge you to listen to Super Attractor because it really has like, oh, also I spoke to my psychic yesterday and she told me Spirit is telling me to tell your mom to listen to Esther Hicks. She said Esther Hicks, and I only knew Esther Hicks because of this book that I'm reading. And I was like, oh my God, it's so funny you say that. Cause she's like, do you know who Esther Hicks is? And I'm like, I only know as of like this week because I'm listening to Gabby Bernstein. And she goes, she won't resonate with Gabby. Tell her Spirit is saying Esther Hicks for you. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know Gabby, and really it's not. Whatever,
it's not for you. I mean, proof is in the pudding. You literally, as I said it, you were like, don't meet your heroes. I think she said Spirit is saying for you to listen to Esther Hicks. She also said, guys, I'm so sorry to break the news here, but like I'm going to have a podcast producing empire. I'm going to be incredibly successful. I don't know what to tell you. But she was
Well, I
like,
can't wait till you can quit your job so that you can produce the other stuff we're working on,
yeah, well,
because that would be great. And
she
we
also
need
told me
somebody
not
to
to do that.
manage. Oh, really?
She told me you
Oh,
cannot work with big personalities. She's like,
okay.
your mom is the big personality, and now you have to work with like institutions and like people who are like
Okay.
whatever. And I was like, okay,
Whatever it is that you want to do that's going to make you feel that all the work that you've always put in, because you've always been such a hard worker, is giving you your just rewards. That's all I want.
yeah,
You've worked hard from the day that you understood what work ethic was in school. I had to tell you to stop studying.
yeah.
What parent has to tell a kid to stop studying? So,
Which is funny because for if anybody's listening to the quizzes, like you would think like, well then bitch,
right, I know.
where's the evidence in the studying? I don't know. It's in the recycling bin. I said, the test is over, put the information in the trash can.
Yeah.
Apparently in a past life, sorry, I'm just talking about my psychic now, but she was saying like, no matter what, I'm going to be okay. She's like, I don't see you ever struggling. She's like, you just have to like believe that, you'll have endless resources. She's like, because in a past life, you were like almost like a decorator for like aristocrats. She's like, you had endless supplies of money. It wasn't yours. You were just given a lot of money to create, to like set a scene for people to like, she's like, I'm seeing like fountains and statues. And I was like, I was a decorator? Like, stop. That's so cute. I love it. So she's like, you have the resources. You like,
I
people
don't think this
trust
is
you with
about,
their
I don't see this
vision.
about money as much as you do. Like,
I think I think the thing
obviously of your age too, but for me, it's not that.
I know, but the whole thing is that's my fear. My fear is like, I don't have enough. I don't have enough money to do the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
And I have to like push past that and be like, you do have endless amount of resources. It may not be financial right now, but you will get there. It's like,
Oh, I have no doubt
get
about
that
that.
fear out of your head. But
Yeah.
what do you mean? You may not have any doubt about that. As of last week, I was like, oh, I'm going to live in this bungalow for the rest of my life. I'll never be like rich by any means. And like, I'll just always be like kind of in the middle. I truly believe that. And I kind of stuck myself in that place where I'm
I
like,
don't know why because both you and John Liam are incredibly creative people, super well respected in your fields. Like, it's just a funny time.
We're in a really weird time. And I think
it's a weird time. But
you also, just to protect yourself, you stop like believing that there could be more, because you're like, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to be like disappointed if that doesn't happen. And it's like, you know what? Life is about disappointment sometimes. And if you don't take a risk, you'll never know. You'll never like actually be fulfilled in your life. So I'm pushing past my fear.
It is better to risk and fail. It really is. It really, really is. It's funny. I don't take my own advice. I've been dealing with one of the big personalities that we're talking about, and he is like, I love him, but he's driving me crazy. It's like, dude, you die 1,000 deaths. Nothing's happened yet, and you're already like, what if this? What if that? What if the other thing? It's like, let it be. It's gonna work out, And so it's funny because on the one hand, I can do that. And then for myself, it's like, why can't I just say, let it be? Because I feel like I'm not done enough. When it's on me, I feel like I haven't done enough, but I'm like that with everything. So,
yeah.
All right, let's move on to.
Yeah, let's move on.
Do you want to talk about, I think the one thing that everybody wants to talk about initially is this whole thing that happened with Andy Cohen.
Right.
Andy yesterday received a scathing letter. NBC Universal received a scathing letter addressed to Andy and I guess his whole team from Mark Garagos and another lawyer. And it's interesting to note that Mark Garagos is the lawyer that is handling the reality reckoning of Bethany's, and he is Bethany's lawyer. So I kind of think that maybe she's behind this. Apparently, at some point, Andy sent a video to Brandi Granville, where he was with another Bravo celebrity. I think it's Kate Chastain, and he was saying that he had been thinking about her and that he wants to have sex with Kate while thinking of Brandi and would like for Brandi to watch. He was
Yeah.
inebriated. This is, by the way, all this is allegedly. Apparently, he was inebriated, and he apologized for it and said that it was all in jest, and that what's her name? Brandi
Kate.
was in on the thing, and that he knew that it was inappropriate. And apologized.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think about it.
I think it's a fuzzy line with Andy Cohen, because Andy Cohen is not just this like person who runs as an executive producer all of these shows. So there has to be, in a way, as an executive producer, a divide between cast and an exec. There's also the fact that he is talent and Watch What Happens Live, and he's his own personality and whatever. So it's a fuzzy line for sure. And I think there's a lot of things that happen on Watch What Happens Live that could probably be put in a letter by legal people being like, you said this and you said that, and I feel unsafe or disgusted or whatever.
Yeah.
So the fact, I think, like, we have to look at a lot of things. One, we have to look at the fact that it is the same lawyer as Bethany Frankel, who is on a rampage to make sure, look at this thumbs up, who is on a mission to destroy Andy Cohen. I think that's number one. And I think number two, we have to look at Brandi Granville, who is a very gullible, malleable person to be like, hey, come over here on this side, because she has a lawsuit against her with Caroline.
That also muddies the water so much, even though they are two entirely different things. And by the way,
for sure,
the thing with Andy is not a lawsuit. It is a letter asking for him to step down. Some people have compared it, and some of the, Page Six and stuff compared it to a Matt Lauer situation.
That's ridiculous.
I think that's ridiculous too. Matt Lauer not only sexually abused women, he locked doors behind him. There was a false imprisonment situation too. So it's not the same. Here's what I think. This is my prediction, just as somebody that has been Bravo talent and also as a lawyer, because I can never take off that hat. I think I agree with you. Andy wears two different hats. He's talent, but he is also a C-suite executive, meaning, he is the face of Bravo in more ways than one.
Yeah.
The way that he behaves with his talent is part of his success. The fact that he's accessible and that he's fun and carefree and kind of, whatever. I do think that it would make sense that they would not ignore this altogether. I think it's going to blow over is what I think is going to happen. There's a lot of people, and the court of public opinion sometimes is stronger than a court of law.
For sure.
Generally, what people are saying is, oh, Brandi's desperate. Brandi's this. Brandi needs money.
Yeah.
I don't love that either, because they're judging her by her past behavior and basically saying you asked for it. Okay.
Right. I don't know if it's that. It's reading to me like, look over here, look over here. Like, I know I did that thing with Caroline Manzo, but like, look over here. Look at what Andy's doing. Let's have him step down because he's a monster. It's very distraction based stuff where it's like, the reality is that you have had inappropriate, I'm talking Brandi. She has had a lot of inappropriate moments. She fires off crazy things all the time and has been under scrutiny for that for a while. And then it finally caught up to her. And Caroline Manzo said, I'm not taking this from you. Right. And then, I don't know. I think I don't know. I get what you're saying, that it's not like great for people to be saying that, but I really, if it were anybody else, maybe I would be thinking about it differently. I don't trust the
I'm surprised that that's the way that you think about it, but I don't believe that look, back when the Me Too movement was a big thing, you and your sister would get very angry about me, about my position on it, because believe but verify. I don't care who the woman is. I don't care who the man is. You can be a porn star. And if your boss of the porn star industry makes unwanted advances towards you, you have a right to say no. You can choose I want this kink, I don't want this kink. You can. A woman can choose that. So some of this is that, you know, when you think if that actually happened, he is her boss. She depends on him for her livelihood. He decides whether she sees the inside of a Bravo studio or be part of filming.
Yes.
So if that had made her uncomfortable, and I agree with you, probably didn't make her uncomfortable.
No.
She's not the type for whom that becomes uncomfortable, but let's say it did, then she has a right to say no, and she probably didn't feel like she had the right to say, like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't believe that that's the case. So what I think is going to happen is I don't think anything's going to happen to Andy. I do think that Andy will probably reconsider some of his just engagement with talent outside of the thing and protect himself a little more, because maybe he let his guard down too much and thought, I'm just messing with you. This is where we have a good relationship. And by the way, because he's like that is the reason the network is successful too. It is those, who else could do that, you know?
Yeah.
That's not an easy thing. So, you know, again, I think it's too early. This just happened yesterday, you know,
and I think
Friday.
Honestly, I think he did the right thing by just immediately apologizing and being like, I understand that it was inappropriate and I'm sorry. And then, because then you just go, we're not making this a bigger thing because I'm apologizing. We're moving forward.
And also he knows that the video exists.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he can't deny it.
He can't deny the video. I just think that if this was a big law firm or an accounting firm or something like that, there would be major repercussions. And I hope, you know, that they understand he's in a unique position. I'm not either defending him or defending her or anything else. I also think it's a weird situation when, you know, with that Caroline Manzo had to go the route of a lawsuit. And if I've read the complaint and the allegations are pretty difficult to read, and Bravo chose not to settle with her, so she had to file a lawsuit because our contracts all say you need to go to arbitration first, mediation first.
Yeah, you can't just immediately.
So you can't just sue. So she sued because they didn't settle. And if they didn't settle, they're saying Brandi did nothing wrong. So how do you juxtapose that with what's happening now? Do you know what I mean? If she did nothing wrong, you know, I just want to wait and see. I think it's too soon to tell, but, you know, we needed to talk about it. And
I have a feeling this is all going to go away.
I think it's just,
I don't think that this is not even anything next week. That's what I think.
Yeah. I agree. I do think we're going to see a change, an internal change in his behavior.
I think so too.
I think that he's not going to take as many risks. You know, there's been a lot of money lost by not putting out Ultimate Girls Trip season 3, the Morocco trip. That will never see the light of day ever. No. And so imagine each of these women were paid $250,000 to $300,000 plus the cost of the production crew and everything else in Morocco, first class flights. We're talking millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And so ultimately the network will look to him and say, you've made us a lot of money, but lately we have all these lawsuits and all these things. So, you know, I think maybe because Housewives is the way it is and the ratings are what they are, I think we're going to see fewer shows. I think over the next couple of years, we're going to see OC, New Jersey, Beverly Hills, and I don't know, you know, maybe Salt Lake City if it continues to do okay. I think everything else is going to fall off.
Honestly, I hope so, because I don't know if we need all of these, but it's also what keeps the network going round. Like you kind of need all,
and they're making a ton of money with Bravo.
Making so much money.
Andy has done a whole lot for NBC Uni in the revenue department.
Oh yeah.
You know, the amount of money that Bravo makes for them. He's just, I mean, and that's why he makes whatever, I think it's $25 million a year or something around there.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. So, all right. So we had 2 finales this week.
Yes, we had. Let's talk Beverly Hills because
let's talk Beverly Hills first.
We have to talk about, we'll talk first about Kyle Mauricio.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tough scene. And
that was a very tough scene.
And I'm so glad we saw it because obviously I feel like everything regarding Kyle and Mauricio this season has been leading to this one scene where we like, quote unquote, got clarity, but we didn't. It was also like, you could still tell that there was like some trepidation behind both Mauricio and Kyle, and like not really wanting to divulge too much to their kids when they were super unclear about what they wanted and what's going on. Oh, seeing Portia cry, like,
That
and
killed me.
all
You
the
know,
kids like fighting tears was really sad.
it was a little too familiar for us. We had a very similar scene when your dad and I got divorced, and even though you guys knew it was tough, you guys hide your sadness behind it. This is a trick you learned from your
Laughter.
dad, from behind laughter. And but I know that it was really hard. And Portia, it killed me. It killed me.
She's little. She's still
Yeah.
little.
And I see them getting divorced. I think it's too late. I think it's over. That's just like when your dad and I got divorced. It's like people are like the judge. You know, we were married for 23 years and he went because we were in agreement. We never fought about money, never fought about anything. We never fought about you guys. We had a very simple divorce, and the judge is like, he went alone for the final judgment. And she says, no, I want to talk to her. And she goes,
Mm.
are you sure? This doesn't make sense. I've never seen anybody be more, this is like a happy divorce. It's weird. Can't you guys work this out? It was really
And
kind
you're
of
like,
funny. I've never seen a judge
no.
do that.
Yeah.
And to this day, your dad and I have a great relationship.
Yeah.
And we help each other out in anything we can, and with you guys, and we have.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. But it was hard to watch. I loved the scene with Erica Jane. I think Erica Jane is a really smart woman. Like really smart. I think that's one of
The
the things
scene of her performing?
No, the scene of her performing is amazing, but the scene where she came to talk to Kyle and
Oh,
gave
yeah,
Kyle
yeah, yeah.
advice was a great scene.
Yeah.
It was a great scene. Her advice was very good advice, and she's just really very
no.
much together.
Erica has settled into herself in a way that's so like, what a character arc that woman has had from the last 2 seasons to now. It's a completely different person.
And
Even
why
just
is
her,
that? Because she crashed and burned, and she
right.
came out from the ashes. She rose like a fucking phoenix.
Yeah, but like most people will like fake the funk rising from the ashes and be like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. I genuinely believe that Erica Jane is fine. Like she feels
Oh no,
very
she's fine now, because when she wasn't
grounded.
fine, she said it.
She feels rooted to like who she is. She feels like everything she's wanted is happening for her. So why would she feel otherwise, that she's like
No.
not okay? And
Her
she's like,
confidence.
I may not be the richest woman, but it's like I have enough to be okay. And that's like, I don't know. Her performance at SoFi Stadium was so,
Oh my God, it was
I loved
amazing.
it. And
I loved
Denise
it too.
Richards needs to shut up. Like, I don't know what
Denise
her
Richards, I
deal
mean,
is.
first of all, why are you wearing that pink thing? Like, what's happening? I'm over that,
Me too.
I'm over that.
We're good with Denise Richards. Why are we miking her? Invite her. Don't mic her. We don't need it. She's not
Yeah.
a part of the group anymore. Like,
Well, I mean, a lot of people were invited to that. Camille was there too. I just don't understand why this party is sentimental. The white party is why do you have to spend $400,000 and do it at SoFi Stadium for a sentimental party? And by the way, the she guy that does she whatever, he would never have put her name on the floor had she not said that was okay. So that was a little false modesty.
Oh, I don't know.
I think she wants to be LVP.
Oh,
She's always wanted to be LVP.
I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think that she was embarrassed by that because at the end of the day, he's doing things, like she said, based on what other people hire him for, which are people who are like egomaniacs. I really don't think Kyle was like, put my name on the floor.
Well, I mean, she wanted to make that entrance, and then that kind of went over like a lead balloon, like nobody looked. And
oh my God. And the
Mauricio,
the Mauricio thing where he's like, spin around. Like he was putting on a show that was so hard to watch.
That was so
And she was
cringy.
like, okay, like don't fake this. This is so strange.
Yeah.
Also, do not invite me. If anyone is having any party at SoFi Stadium, don't invite me because I don't want those stadium lights on me. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Nobody looks good in those
dark, moody
candle light. Yeah.
Listen, as a
blur me out.
As
real
a
life filter.
As a decorator for aristocrats in my past life, lighting is very important. Okay.
Lighting is everything.
I don't want to see stadium lights on anybody wearing white. Okay. Like we don't need that.
Yeah.
I wanted mood lighting in there. I was like, this is weird. But yeah.
It's too big. There wasn't enough whatever. It was more is more, which I get it. I don't understand why she had to spend $400,000 on a party that was a sentimental party. I don't know.
Maybe because she felt like it might be the last one. Because Mauricio and her are not going to be
It's
doing
over.
that one together.
That's over.
Maybe she'll do a smaller version of it, but I think it was like
Yeah.
maybe subconsciously the last
Yeah.
hurrah of the white party as a family unit,
Yeah.
you know? Maybe that's what it was.
And seeing all those scenes, because she has been for 13 years or 14 years on Beverly Hills, and seeing those kids little, and they
Oh,
were a happy family. But
I was sobbing.
one of the things that Erica told her that I found very poignant was the fact that she said, "You didn't fail. You had a beautiful marriage for all those years." I have always felt that. I always felt that your dad and I didn't fail. I just felt that the relationship ran its course. And I think that when you get married so young, and we were together from the time that we were 21, you don't evolve at the same rate, or the things that interest you are different, and you kind of go in different directions. You get all caught up in, for me and him, it was all about you guys, and you don't remember who the other person is, and then there's really no way to fix that. But if I had to do it all over again, I would do it exactly the same way. I don't feel that I failed. I had 23 years of a great family and whatever, and I think about it fondly. I don't focus on anything negative. And I think that's what they have. And I think it's time for her to do something else. She's ready. She's ready.
They both deserve to be happy, and whatever that means for them. And like, I think they've had a lot of, maybe the last year, probably, and some change. They've just been really struggling and like feeling unhappy. And it's like time to just let it go.
Let it go.
And also, who knows? You never know what'll happen. Maybe if you set it free, it might come back around and you might align together.
They might go out there. Yeah. They might go out there and
know.
say, you know what? I had it good.
Exactly.
It's the grass is not greener, all that. But I do think that there's a lot going on between her and Morgan, and on the, when they showed the preview of the reunion where they asked her, could you see yourself with Morgan Wade? And she didn't say no. And then she was on Watch What Happens Live. And there's also, we should put that up for people to see if they haven't seen on, of her rubbing her kind of side, butt, hip area. It was very intimate.
They're in a relationship. They're in a relationship. I don't think Kyle is ready to fully commit to the idea of people knowing that she is in a female relationship, because I think that there's a lot of probably things embedded in her from her childhood and her life and growing up that like, that's not okay. I do think that. And I think we live in a world now where it is okay. And maybe she's slowly coming closer to the idea that she can do it openly, but she's in a relationship with Morgan Wade, period. End of story. That's what's happening.
I agree. And I also think that, sometimes it's the forbidden aspect of it. Once Mauricio are living separately and she's full on with Morgan Wade, I don't know that that's what she would want to have. I don't know. She is drawn, like I am, I'm obsessed with Lainey Wilson, who is a country music star. I love her from the first time I saw her on Yellowstone, and she's won a lot lately. And when Kyle was at the People's Choice Awards, she posted a picture with Lainey Wilson, and Lainey Wilson has always reminded me of Morgan Wade. She has that same kind of vibe, not the tattoos and stuff, but pretty and whatever, and kind of the music is similar. And I'm like, maybe she just is drawn to women now, and that's okay.
Oh, is Lainey Wilson a lesbian?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
no, but she has, that doesn't, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just, you can be drawn to a woman that doesn't respond to your whatever.
For sure.
Kyle didn't know she was, with the new definition of sexuality that you people use.
Oh God.
It has nothing to do with gender, and it has nothing to do with what parts you have. You fall in love with somebody's essence, and you fall in love with somebody's whatever. Again, too old, too set in my ways to really wrap my head around that, but I'm trying to.
There's nobody that you love that's a woman that you're like, I could totally see myself with that person.
Yeah, no.
Oh, well, I'm recently gay, actually, because
I'm recently, like we've talked about, like, you can have a girl crush or think somebody's badass, but when you get into like having to go be like
Say it. Go down, girl. Say it.
Carpet munching,
Oh God.
scissoring. Yeah, no.
Scissoring? Yeah. No, I thought I had a girl crush, but I am in fact gay.
Oh, okay, good. And
I
who is this that you're
I
in love with?
I discovered an artist. I mean, I know I'm so late to this party. People are probably going to be like, okay, you're an idiot. I discovered an artist. Her name is Fletcher. She's a singer. I'm obsessed with her music. She's so beautiful. Her music is so good. Her voice is insane. And I was like, oh, I have a girl crush. And I was like, no, I'm gay.
What does she look like?
Like a stunning angel. I don't know how to explain it. She's just
I think I know
beautiful.
who she is. I think I saw her recently too. Yeah, for me, I can tell you one thing is that me being drawn to people, men or women, has nothing to do with how they look.
Right.
Zero. Zero.
It doesn't hurt though when they're
It doesn't
good
hurt,
looking.
but it's just not my thing. Like, it's not my
Mm.
thing. I could see the most beautiful looking man or woman or whatever, and I may still hate their face for no reason. And it's like, why I don't like his face. And like
God.
Ken will say, why don't you like, I don't like that guy's face. Timothy Chalamet. I hate his face.
Oh yeah. Listen, I cannot with Timothy Chalamet.
Right. So I don't like his face. So I'm trying to watch Willy Wonka and I'm like, I hate his face.
After watching Wonka, that I can't even look at him. I'm not kidding.
Right. So and he's not an unattractive person, but I don't like his face.
He's so cute. He's just a bad actor, and that's okay.
So a little bit more Beverly Hills. I didn't understand what lesson Sutton was teaching Porter, she's adorable, by the way.
Oh
she's
my
really
God.
adorable and very different from her mother. And
so cute. She's so sweet.
So cute. But how is buying overpriced jewelry with, let's be frank, with money
Not
that
her money.
Right. Well, it is her money. See, I don't like to say that either, because I'm trying to grow. And I've always had the perspective that if your husband made the money, then it's not your money. But if your husband made the money during the time that you were with him, supporting him, whatever, then it kind of is your money too.
I agree.
Yeah.
It was the idea that the words came out of her mouth. I want to show my daughter that I'm not this cliche wealthy woman. And
right.
It's like,
and
you're at a jewelry store with your daughter buying
overpriced
$68,000 earrings.
Those earrings,
they're not that pretty.
Por favor. They weren't that pretty, and they did not have that many diamonds or sapphires, whatever. I didn't
like
get that.
If you're at a party and someone is not saying something about the jewelry you spent $68,000 on, I'm pretty sure that's how much she spent on it, right?
$68,000.
$68,000 earrings. If you walk into a party and not one person has said anything about it, and you're the one who has to say,
I'm going back to the store.
Do you like these earrings? Like, if you have to do that, I'm so sorry.
They look thin. They look pobrecito. Here's the thing. Like, pobrecito. I like either studs or really big earrings. I don't like the in between. I don't like the ones you're wearing. I don't like
I was gonna say I'm an in between.
I hate
girl.
That. Eso es como like little dangly little, I don't know. To me, I'm
argue,
wrong, by the way.
Oh, listen, I would argue that your gigantic earrings from Miami finale were a little crazy, and you need to maybe tone it down because they were the size of your fucking head. Okay,
those are great earrings.
They're Mommy. You need to scale.
Do you know how many people called me to ask me where I got those earrings?
Mommy, this was you at the Miami finale. This was you. Actually, a little bigger, to be honest. It was outrageous how big those earrings were. You looked beautiful, by the way. Like, your outfit was great, but I was like, I know what you did. You were standing in the mirror and you go, this needs something. You're like, I'm gonna get the Empire State Building. I'm gonna put them on my ears.
We've had those earrings for a long time. I've worn those earrings before.
I know, and maybe it's time to just like put them away.
Okay, bueno, esos areticos de guajirita que you have on right now, don't do it for me either.
I'm Josefina, okay?
Exactly.
Okay, well, let's talk about Miami.
Let's go. But okay, you go. You lead the way, girl.
I just want to start with the finale, or with the finale. That was the finale. I want to start with the party at the end where you showed up. I don't know if anybody clocked this, okay? But obviously, Alexia, you walk in, it says Anna Quincoses, whatever. Under it says Adriana's friend, which is very interesting because you're Nicole's friend, but I digress.
Whatever.
Then we cut to Alexia and she's like, in an interview, I don't know why she's here, but I'm not leaving because I look too good, blah, blah, blah. Very much being like, I don't fuck with Anna. Cut to a couple minutes later in the corner of like B-roll. It's you and Alexia talking in the corner, laughing, hamming it up. So let's just like remember that there is a world here that you see on TV, and then there's a world where,
I'm surprised nobody's caught that.
yeah,
We had a conversation that was supposed to air that, in fact, you know, the producers told me, oh, you have that great scene with Alexia, and they didn't air it. And you as a producer know that that just has to do with where the story's headed and whether it makes sense. So it doesn't
Totally.
matter. But, and also there was a little bit of like, you know, a little bit of digging into Marisol during that conversation, which I guess they don't want to perpetuate that.
they're trying to like protect.
But I went from the moment I got there, she was trying to focus on her conversation. And if you notice, she could not stop looking at me. And I don't understand why. And it was so funny that she said that she looked too good, because it's really not one of the best times she's looked. She had bruises here. Everybody is talking about what those bruises are. I guess she had some treatment done on her jawline, and they tried to cover all the black, but it was really obvious, and it was not
see that.
one of her best.
I was gonna say I thought she looked great. I liked that dress. I liked that it was like somewhat simple for Alexia.
Yeah,
I didn't.
It's not my. I mean, she never looks bad. Alexia's pretty, and she never looks bad. I don't think it was her. I liked how she looked at the reunion.
Yes, we talked about that.
And I think that Marisol has never looked worse in her life. Whoever made her that dress, yes, whoever did her hair and her makeup should be shot. She looked like she just finished. Seriously, Marisol is not attractive, but Marisol has always had pretty decent style, good style, and she has, you know, she's not about showing off whatever. It looks like Game of Thrones hadn't collided with something else. It's just exploded on her.
I didn't like it at all.
Square, and she looks bigger, even though she's so thin. She looks demacrada. Is the only word I can say. Yes, she looks whatever. Alexia, a little bit too, because Alexia is used to having the giant lashes, the huge, and so she looks a little washed out. But I appreciate it because I think she looked better, and I think everybody else, not Nicole, but a lot of other people looked very costumey. And I don't like costumey. Although, you know, again, I love Gertie. I think she carries it well. And by the way, Tori totally tried to copy her look, and it was not copy her look with the whole kind of Grace Jones vibe
thing. Oh my God, that was so strange.
And she did not.
For the reunion,
you have to have the personality that Gertie has to carry that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Gertie and the shaving her head, and oh my God, that was so. Listen, I'm just so impressed with anybody who goes through something as like intense as cancer and decides to put a camera on it, because I imagine that people who have had an experience like that, whether it's like personally or like a family member or friend, felt very seen, or, you know, like not isolated in their experience. And I think something like that, where it's very vulnerable, it's very easy to say, I'm not putting this on camera. And she did. Right. And I thought, like, I don't know.
I thought that was good. I think, look, I can't even tell you. I love Gertie. I love Russell so much.
Oh my gosh.
When he was cutting her hair, first of all, that was all very genuine. And when he said to her, and I wrote it down, "You're very beautiful." He goes, "You look good." It was so genuine. And then when she said,
"You wrote down you look beautiful," because he thought you'd forget it. Okay.
He said, "You're very beautiful." It was different. You have to go back to that part. He was surprised and impressed that his wife is so beautiful that she looks good even bald.
With her,
you don't want to see me bald. You don't want to see
me
bald.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Your head is too big.
My head is too big.
We can't see that.
Right. And so, and then when she said, "I'm ready," I don't know if you caught that.
Listen, there was a moment there where she was like, you can tell, you saw every emotion she was going through. She was like, I'm fine. Happy. Oh, I'm just going to do it. Oh, we're fine. We're good. And then it set in what was about to happen. And then you saw her panic a little bit. She got scared. She said, "Russell, why are you trying to do this so fast?" That wasn't happening. She just started to settle into what was about to happen. It was so raw.
And so it makes me a little bit mad, because there are a lot of people that say that she is taking advantage of her cancer. And honestly, it's fucking cancer, people. Okay? This is not something you take advantage of. she is the epitome of blooming where she's planted. Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
And like maybe there was a world where like she was meant to put this out there so that people didn't feel so isolated in their
And people
experience.
didn't feel that it was a dead end or that it was a death sentence. Your attitude has everything to do with it, but you saw her go through it. And there was a point where she went through that kind of panic and whatever, and all of a sudden she swallowed hard and she said, "I'm ready."
Yeah, she
And
really
it really like hit
rocked
me
you.
because I felt, yeah, you are ready.
Yeah.
You are ready. You're ready, and you're make me feel that I can do anything. And I like it. I like it. I don't care what anybody says about it. I think Larsa
is an animal. She's an animal.
Yeah, man. Larsa is either a little bit sociopathic because it doesn't seem that she has the ability to empathize.
No, she
I'll
doesn't.
tell you one thing. She's going to learn a very tough lesson in life because up to now, for the most part, she's lived a charmed life, has never had to worry about money, has healthy children that are successful and thriving and all this stuff. Anything can happen to anyone.
Okay.
And that's when you learn empathy. No, I'm
Yeah.
not wishing it on her.
No. I
But
know.
we are all a second away from some tragedy.
I think Larsa, at the end of the day, it's what you said. She cannot understand another person's experience. She can't
because
see
she's so
past
caught up
herself.
in her own stuff. Yeah.
She can't see past herself. So anything that's being said to her, she sees as a personal attack. I don't know who said it, if it was Gertie or Kiki, but it's like Larsa's so defensive because she has stuff to hide. And that's really what it is. Oh, another thumbs up. She is the fakest of them all physically. She has had so much work done and refuses to admit it, which is like, it's really it's like psychologically insane for you to say, I've never touched my face, I've never touched my butt, when you look like that, you know? But it's a testament to like how she is. That's just like, she's like, she thinks that she's fooling everybody and because she's hiding so much, and she's like, no, I'm totally getting away with it. I don't know what you're talking about. We're all good. Her acting like, what video? Oh, did you see the Michael Jordan video? She's like, what video? It's like, can you be real for 1 second?
And also Lisa, just blindly just supporting her. It's just, look, if you're my friend, I am going to tell you when you're wrong too.
You should.
Some of my best friends, like Glenda, will let me have it when I need to have it, and it's not fun.
That's what it's not fun is for.
It's not often. Thank God. But it's not fun. And Sylvia too will tell me. And you know, but I love also the very real friendship between Nicole and Gertie. Yeah. The fact that she knows what Gertie needs, it's like give her a second, let her go. I could tell that there's very much a real relationship there. I could see a lot more of that. I would be happy with seeing a lot of that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I will say I have never been happier in my life for a show to be over. Like I am so, I know we have to do reunion recaps and stuff, but my God, I am counting down the days for this.
There's a lot of screaming. It's a show that like te altera, like like it gets you like not riled up in a good way. Like
I have so much anxiety watching this show.
Peace. Right.
I literally have to hold my hand over my heart when I'm watching, because sometimes I'll forget to breathe and I'll be like, oh, remember, like, don't let this energy seep into your body, because it will happen where I start like holding my breath and like getting like, I'm like, that's not how you want to be watching your programs.
No,
sorry.
No.
You want to feel relaxed and like you're having a good time. I do not feel relaxed or like I'm having a good time. And I feel like it's because your earrings are so big that they triggered me.
Okay, then.
I'm just kidding.
Well.
Okay, well, we've been talking for a long time. Or maybe it feels like that because we took 15 minutes waiting for you to answer an email before we started.
That too. And also because we started out with, I guess, crying mommy issues things, but we'll talk more about the reunion next week. The preview to the reunion, like I just fell in love more with Nicole.
I loved it. She was like, you need to go like rub one out.
Yeah,
go to the bathroom. It was like, you have a boner for me.
You have had a boner for hard on. It was a hard on.
A hard on, yeah.
You have had a hard on for me since you met me. So I think you need to go rub one off in the bathroom, girlfriend. And it was just
so
you know what is epic about that? That it is a pregnant doctor saying it.
I
It's
know.
who is delivering this message. Because if it was anybody else, it would seem vulgar, but it doesn't seem vulgar to me. Like,
It's
I love
Nicole
her.
saying, I'm so done with you. Like, I'm
I'm so
not
done with your
playing nice.
boberia, loca.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
did you get somebody to read someone new to read a review?
oh, I thought you said you wanted me to read a review.
No, I said it's your turn to get somebody to read a
Oh,
review.
I didn't know you said that, but that's okay. I don't have anybody to read a review, but I'm going to read a review because today we're going to do something I like to call Beba Lingo.
Oh,
There
Beba
is
Lingo.
Duolingo and then there's Beba Lingo. So I'm going to read a review and you
are going to translate
going to translate it, but you're not
Okay.
going to translate it verbatim. You're going to translate
The essence of it.
idea.
Okay.
Yeah, the idea. So it's going to be, by the way, oh, I took it off, but I just want you guys all to know that I'm officially an old hag because I have a little chain for my glasses.
It's cute. Listen, your glasses turtleneck combo right now is giving like mature lady in a positive way.
Oh, and that's what I'm going for. Thank you. Oh God.
Mature
All
lady
right.
is good. We like mature lady. Okay, I'm gonna like write down some notes.
Look at the extent of my, look at this gray hair.
Mommy, I just had Jolene before we got on pluck a gray hair from my scalp. So
Okay,
don't even worry about it.
hair.
It's the beginning of the end.
Okay. That's not Niña, por Dios. You can't have so much gray hair because I didn't start getting gray hair till like seriously not long ago.
And also daddy doesn't really get a lot of gray hair. Like my dad is 60 in October and he is maybe has like 20 gray hairs. It's very strange. The genes in this family, like I'm so #blessed. The fact that I don't have to get Botox yet. I mean, when I go like this, I have some back up here.
I haven't gotten.
But like, I don't have the crow's feet yet. I do have these like smile lines that come in, but I cover them up with concealer because we can still do that right now. We're still at that phase.
Like, first of all, I've only done Botox 3 times in my life, and
you look crazy.
And I look crazy the first time I did it too soon in my 40s, and so
yeah.
I did it recently. I put it on Instagram, very little with Dr. Wolf, who's the greatest, and
very little is fine.
You have, yeah.
I'm not touching my face until I have to touch my face.
Okay, so
I'm gonna write down. Just read the review, and I'm gonna write down some notes of things.
Okay, we had a bad review last week, so I'm not gonna read a bad one. Because I was so tempted to read a bad one, but
okay, just read a good one. We've had a lot of ups and downs in this episode.
Okay. Honestly, this podcast should be prescribed alongside cold plunging and meditation for better mental and physical health. Hear me out a second. There's absolutely nothing better than to have a funny disconnect from everyday life, but in a way that is so relatable. I admire Beba and Anna's mother-daughter relationship so much, and quite frankly, cannot stop laughing every time I listen in. Thank you for giving us all a much-needed break from all the nonsense going on in the world.
Okay, wow.
I know it's a lot, but just the general idea.
God. Okay, first, I'm just going to ask you some questions before we get started.
Okay.
How do you say prescribed? Never mind. I have
indicado. You could say indicado. El podcast debe ser indicado.
Okay.
Right. Okay. I don't know if prescribed exactly, but it works.
How do you say relatable?
I don't know.
Oh, and you want me to know? You want me to know that? I don't know that.
Okay. I'm going to give you this one because it's...
No.
Okay. Fine.
Relatable. I have my Google Translate. Relacionable.
Okay. Relacionable. I was just going to say that.
Okay. Let me just write that down so I don't fucking forget it. Okay. Mira. I always have to start with okay. I got to get into it. Okay. ¿En serio? Este podcast es indicado.
Debe de ser indicado.
Debe ser indicado igual como un baño frío y también terapia.
Y meditación.
Y meditación. Porque es tan relacionable.
Ajá.
Y yo quiero dar gracias por Beba y Ana para el break en en el mundo que es tan loca. No sé, chica. Estoy struggling.
I think that was
Look,
good-ish.
there were some words in there. Hold on. Let me try again. Okay.
Okay.
En serio, yo creo que este podcast debe ser indicado igual como terapia, meditation, un baño frío. Y yo quiero ser gracias a Ana y
Quiero
Beba. Quiero
darle gracias.
darle gracias a Beba y Ana para el break en el mundo que es difícil.
Very good.
That was better.
That was
see?
better. Yeah. That
You
was
try
good.
again. You always try again.
You did. You gave yourself a second chance.
I gave myself a second chance. I said,
Full
I'm
circle.
choosing again. Guys,
All
thank
right,
you for
guys.
listening. I'm sorry for the ups and downs, but honestly, don't you feel better?
I feel better. I feel better, and I felt horrible, and now I feel better because I didn't know that I had upset you so much. So now I need to go a little while beating myself up for upsetting you, and then,
don't do
but
that.
I feel better.
I feel better because I'm not harboring any resentment towards you. I feel lighter, brighter, beautiful cover girl. And if any aristocrats needs decorating in their house, any statues or fountains, I'm your girl. Apparently, I'm your girl. You have no idea. I'm really relishing in this decorator past life. Okay. Follow us on Instagram at Beba_Rada. Anna Cooks QOKS at Mami She's a Pod. Follow us on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Make sure to leave a review so we can read it next episode. And that's it.
That's it.
All
right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Listening.
Love you.
Love you.
Talk to you later.
Bye.